Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Ryan here with PK Adventure Travels. We are bringing you another ship highlight tour. I know it's weird, right? You usually see Melinda on this, but she didn't get her credentials turned over or switched over soon enough, so it's just me flying solo today. And I'm really excited. We are actually going to be taking a look at a Princess cruise line ship today, which is the Caribbean Princess. Now this is an older model ship, but it has gone through some refurbishments, and really this is the first time I've ever stepped foot on a Princess ship, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how things look on here. And then also we generally get a little lunch on there to taste how the food is as well. So we're going to bring as much as we can. And again, this is a ship highlight tour as a travel agent, so it is going to be fast and furious, and all shots will not be kosher, I am sure, but we will do our best as we breeze through the Caribbean Princess. Let's get started. All right, so before we actually get on the ship, this is your check-in area. Now we are in Terminal 6 here in Port Canaveral. So you can see they have multiple lines at the front. And then once you're checked in, they have a row of seats. It looks like we are just outside the Priority Lounge. We're gonna go down this way and take just a quick look at the Priority Lounge. So you can see multiple areas here for suite guests and the higher level loyalty programs with some orange juice, coffee, and little pastries. Nice little place to hang out before you get on the ship.
A few months ago, like a couple of months ago, we went on dry dock. So the ship went to a full ADA accessible dry dock. So now we have a few improvements on the public areas as well on the guest staterooms. We have the ship's map as part of the Planet Princess program. We are trying to go digital. Of course, not completely, because sometimes our guests are requesting things on paper. I'm an old-fashioned guy, so I like to scratch. And then we have all our venues in here by deck. As being a ship in compliance with the ADA requirements, or screens as well are ADA. So, for example, if you select this little one in here, it goes down, accessible for somebody in a wheelchair.
Welcome everyone, we're on deck 5. We are in the main Piazza area. You can see we have a wine bar, which has plenty of choices for you. This is also where you can get yourself some liqueur, as well as the internet cafe. They have live music down here. You can see it's 3 decks. There is a piano down here for some live music. Now, a few months ago, they did a complete ADA upgrade. Counters have been lowered to accommodate people in wheelchairs. And this is the International Cafe. This is where you can get complimentary snacks and treats throughout your cruise.
Sorry.
This is also where you can get your specialty coffees, and these are at an extra cost unless you have the unlimited drink package. Now moving on is one of the many bars that you'll find throughout the entire ship. This is Good Spirits. All right, we have come up to deck 6. This is Facets, one of the jewelry shoppings. And of course, cruise ship is not a cruise ship without Effy. This is where you can get more jewelry. Now also up on deck 6 is where you will find your guest services. Come up here to ask any of your questions you need. And then it looks like on the other side, we have more shopping, and this one is called Limelight. Looks like you've got designer handbags and fragrances. And again, this is the mid-level of the Piazza. Continuing on deck 6, right past the guest service areas, you have your future cruise center where you can book while you're on the ship. You can provide them a travel agent information, and it will go to your travel agent. This is also where we see the Crown Grill. So the Crown Grill is a specialty restaurant. This is their steak restaurant. All right, we are now in the Crown Grill restaurant. Again, this is the upscale and specialty restaurant that you will have at an additional charge. As you can see here, there's a very nice dark oak motif here. Plenty of seating from 2 up to 5, and I'm sure they can put together seats for bigger parties. And they tell you how to use the cow. There you go. I highly recommend trying a specialty restaurant at least once. Further on to the right from the Crown Grill, you have the shore excursion desk. So if you haven't already pre-booked your excursions, you can come on here to book them, or if you have an issue, again, you can always come here. Here are a few examples of the upgraded bling you can buy for your medallion. So it comes with the standard lanyard, but you can get all fancified. Here's a few more options for you. These are going to be the rubberized ones versus the bling 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 on the other side. We don't want to be left behind. All right, we are continuing up in the Piazza. We are heading up to deck 7, where you will find, gasp, another bar. Look at that, they have a travel martini mixing. Now also up on deck 7, you have more shopping. You have Waves, which is the logo gear, and you have Essence, which is more perfume. The Grand Casino is on deck 7. Looks like we have a plethora of slot machines like you normally see. Oh, there's Christine's favorite, the Wheel of Fortune. Now all of those slot machines ring the center table games. Looks like you do have craps. You've got multiple Texas Hold'ems and blackjack. Looks like you've got roulette, and you can gamble to your heart's content. And hopefully, if you play enough, lose enough, you can get yourselves a free cruise. So this is a smaller ship, and so your casino's not as massive as some of these huge ones. But you still have a sprinkling of a variety of different table games as well as slot machines. All right, we are now in the Princess Theater. This is where you're going to find all of your major productions. Looks like these are all individual chairs, and they have multiple areas for accommodating wheelchairs. The theater also has multiple levels. You can see it does have a lot of seats in here, and near the very top are where they do have some reserved seats for the accommodation for wheelchair or handicap. And I do like this one because there really are no poles in your way. Now here's a cool feature as well.
Now we are going to
Look at that. Now you have yourself a little place to put your drink or nashi nash. We're still on deck 7. We are now midship, and this is the Explorer Lounge. This is another venue for entertainment. They'll do game shows here, They'll have live music and entertainment. Plenty of seating. There's also lots of tables here. So we're going to head down into the Explorer Lounge to get a little more close-up look. You see here, there's a little prime alcove area. And then you have your main stage. Of course, this can also be a dance floor. Of course, there's a bar here as well. And again, really not a bad seat in the house. So check out the Explorer Lounge. So this area here is your princess photo. Little small table for you to take a look and put in your photo orders, as well as using the app. So we are heading into the Wheelhouse Bar. This one's going to be a nautical theme as well. Lots of dark oak and teak. This is also one of the venues they use for weddings. They have the lights off in here, so I'm switching to a different cam that hopefully will do better in the dark. But again, this is the Wheelhouse. Another bar, nautical theme, and they will do weddings here as well. Every day from 5 to 6 p.m. on this ship, this is where you would have cocktail hour for suites. Just another view of the Wheelhouse. This is where your stage is for the live music. Little dancing here. You've got your bar here. Nice little cozy place to come have a drink and enjoy some live music. Or have a wedding. We are now in Sabatini's on deck 7. This is the specialty Italiano dining. I'm sure Melinda would find this one to her liking. They boast a taste of Tuscany. And they actually have an open area where you can watch them make some of the Italian dishes. And from the looks of it, that's some fresh pizza that they'd be sliding in there. And a pasta making machine. So if you're looking for an elevated Italian dining experience, stop by Sabatini's. So we do have another photo area as well. And as with many other cruise lines, if you did forget a GoPro or binoculars or anything like that, they do have them here for purchase. And as you can see here, they have their pricing set up. So we've got some photo blocks, 11 by 14 for $21. That's actually not bad for a photo block. 28 and 33. And then they do have some canvas prints as well. Pricing's actually not too bad. It's kind of comparable to what I've seen at like Walgreens and things like that. And you can do all of your orders here. And you just need your little medallion. All right, on deck 7 on the smaller ships, there's actually an outdoor seating area that goes down the entire row. So something on a lower deck for you to be able to check out the water when you're at sea. All right, we are now heading into Club Fusion. This is our last venue on deck 7. And you are starting with riding the mechanical bull. As you can see here, Club Fusion has a cowboy theme. Honestly, I was not expecting that with the name Club Fusion, to be 100% honest. We got ourselves another bar. And this is a pretty big venue all the way back here. It wraps all the way around the aft. Again, dance floor, a bigger dance floor than I've seen anywhere else, and live music. So here's another look at the Fusion Club. Again, this one is more popular with dancing because it has a much bigger dance floor. That entire area down there is the dance floor. plenty of seating around the whole area. And of course, you've got yourself a bar. No venue's complete without a place to wet your whistle. All right, onward. All right, we are on deck 15 and we are at Steamer's Seafood. So this is another specialty restaurant, and you guessed it, it is seafood themed. It looks like this particular restaurant has a lot of window seating. So some really cool views from up here on deck 15. Now, for the record, during the day, this is buffet with no cost. At night is the upcharge for seafood. And it looks like at the back, there's actually an option for you to be able to walk outside to get to the open decks. And this is also one of the locations for your pools. And again, no open deck would be correct without a bar. And this is one of your bars, Outriggers. And then right across from Steamers is Plank's Barbecue. So we are still on deck 15. This is the other side from Steamers is Plank's Barbecue. So a very similar setup as far as seating arrangements goes. Lots of windows. And now we are heading into your main buffet area on the Lido deck. So as you can see here, it is broken up with princess destinations. It'll update based on where you are. You've got market greens, salads, beautiful desserts, fresh fruits. There's sandwich shops, farmhouse fare, quick bites, and then lots of different areas for you to bring your food to enjoy. Now we're heading back to midship on deck 15, Lido deck. This is where the action happens. You got another bar here, and you have one of the pools that is flanked by hot tubs on both sides. Pretty cool mosaic tiles all around this area. There's one of the mosaic tiles right there. Coffee and ice cream cones. And we're heading on to the back of the Lido. So this is actually broken up into two pretty much identical areas. Got another pool back here with two hot tubs flanked. The only thing that's missing in this back one is the big TV. So you'd have to be in the front area to see that. But you do have Slice, which is where you would get your pizza. And then you've got your hot dog station. Hopefully we'll see that a little closer, but I got to get back to the tour group. All right, we are now on the aft of the ship on deck 16. So this is near the youth center, so Camp Discovery. There are outdoor play areas and nice open decks for the kids to hang out and do some sunning. And then as I got across to the other side, there was a really cool water feature for the kids. It had different countries around the world in this little water pool. As you could see, just a little bit of everything. Australia, Hawaii, Fiji Islands, all the way down to Alaska. Pretty cool little informational water park. Now this is the most popular area for the wedding. We were just down there, but it's a bird's eye view. That's deck 16. What they do is they only do it on sea days, and they remove all of the chairs and then have the altar there. So while you're getting your photos and while you're having your wedding, the backdrop is the beautiful blue ocean. So if you're looking for a wow factor, have a wedding here on the Caribbean Princess with the big blue as your backdrop. All right, we are still on deck 16 here at the Lotus Spa. So right as you enter the Lotus Spa, you do have the Lotus Salon. So this is set up to get all of your haircut needs. I'm sure you can do your pedicures, your manicures, and maybe if you're lucky, you can have some pedifores. Great views out the side. So a nice little salon area. All right, let's move deeper into the Lotus Spa. And as we continue to move back into the Lotus Spa area, we do have our fitness center. Looks like we do have a wide variety of ellipticals, weight machines, Stairmasters, treadmills, and free weights. As we continue deeper into the workout facility, you can see there is a yoga and spin classroom. Plenty of space to get your spin on. And as we continue, tons and tons of treadmills that face out on the ocean. What a view when you're working out. As we continue around, we get to the actual treatment rooms. And while you're waiting on your treatment, there is a nice sitting room with ice water for you to sip on. And then here is an example, treatment room 8, as you can see. Nice and cozy for you to get your Swedish massage. Now right outside this area, and it's accessible from both sides, is the lap pool. So this is part of the spa and open to everyone, but there is an open upper deck that is a thermal suite pool, and that does cost more to access. All right, we are up on deck 17, and we have the little waterworks area for the young ones, or young at heart if there aren't any young ones here. Now you have a pool here in the center, very small, but you do have one here. We have the Reef, which is going to be the bar. And we do have a hot tub over here. And this is set up for ADA assistance. So you can press buttons and it'll put the ramp for you to go up or down. Now, one more deck up, which I'm sure we'll eventually get to, is the Skywalker Lounge. This is where your past guest party is. The suites have that cocktail hour down in the Wheelhouse. All right, we are heading into the Coral Dining Room. So one of your main restaurants here. So this is our main dining room. And it looks like you have multiple tables, anywhere from 2 people up to 10. Looks like we're going to sit down and experience some fare. Do you mind if I join you two? All right, so it looks like we're going to be tasting the main dining room fare. So it looks like our appetizer, we have a Greek salad. We have a lump crab cake, yes please, minestrone soup. And then our main courses, we have green vegetable risotto, medallion beef tenderloin. We've got pan-fried cod. And then dessert, you have the Princess Love Boat Dream and a chocolate pistachio dome. All right, I can report the rolls are nice and soft inside, a little tough on the top to make them a little crunchy, but overall, really good. Coming up is going to be our crab cake with remoulade sauce. Thank you so much. And there you go. Our crab cake with the remoulade sauce. I'll let you know how it tastes. All right, so reporting on the crab cake. Overall, flavors very, very good. Good, nice and hot.
There at 5 in the morning.
Savory. Remoulade sauce adds some additional flair. I could have used a little more crabs mixed in,
Highly recommend.
but still very, very good. All right, and I had the beef medallion. Looks like we've got some fresh veggies. And it definitely smells delicious and looks delicious.
Wow, that is good.
I will report back. All right, reporting back. That was absolutely delicious. The vegetables were al dente. The puff of whatever it was, some sort of bread puff, was very crunchy on the outside and fluffy light on the inside. And the medallion beef tenderloin was super, super tender. Very good steak. And for dessert, we have the Lotus. Soon we'll be making a trip to my stomach. Oh my goodness, was this delicious. A thick chocolatey mousse in the center with the raspberry and strawberry gelatin on the outside, some whipped cream, chocolate, raspberry sauce, and a raspberry to top it all off. Oh yeah, did I mention the butter cookie underneath? Amazing. But I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off. All right, next time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. The Caribbean Princess. All right, everyone, that wraps up our highlight tour of the Caribbean Princess. There were definitely some areas we did not make it to just because of timing and the route that our guy took us on. I really wish we could have seen the Skywalker Lounge. That's all the way up at the top at the back of the ship. It's a nice, again, a bar area that overlooks the ocean on the back. Maybe we'll get on a Princess here soon and I'll actually bring it to you in another ship tour. But again, hope you liked the highlight. Let us know below if you've ever been on the Caribbean Princess and what your favorite part was. As always, if you want to take that next step, click that join button. It doesn't cost a lot. We have different levels of membership, cancel anytime, but it really does help us bring you this content here, and we appreciate it so much if you take that next step. As always, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notify. That way you're notified when new videos drop. We'll see you next time on The Scenic Route.